Um, well, welcome everyone. My name is Andy Mann. I'm an instructional technology consultant and REMC director in Muskegon at Muskegon Area ISD, and I want to welcome you to the first My Moodle Moot support series. Chris Kennenberg is going to be our presenter today. Chris is, I'll let him introduce himself, but he's from Dearborn Schools, and the theme for today's broadcast is using the Socialwall course format, how to install it, how to get started with it, and we're happy that you're watching this or you're signing in live. I will mention that over on the right-hand side, there is a box for questions, and if you have any questions, you can type them in over there as we go. So let me hand this over to Chris, and you're up.
Thanks, Andy. So today we're going to go over the Moodle Socialwall format, which was developed by the REMC organization, funded through REMC, and developed by, it was developed by a Moodle partner named Synergy Learning. And we're going to start off on the administrative side today, and we're going to go through, and let me share the agenda here. So we're going to start off, and we're going to go through the setup and configuration, starting from downloading the plugins from Moodle, going through the installation process, and then configuring it to be best used in your Moodle site. After that, we'll take a look at creating a course in the new Socialwall format, configuring the course settings, making a post, adding documents to the timeline, as well as adding an activity or quiz. So let's get started here. The first thing that we would want to do, and I'm going to jump over to my browser now. So the first thing that you'll want to do is head on over to moodle.org and then jump onto their plugins page. As you can see, there's a link down here at the bottom, plugins. You can get to it that way. And probably the easiest way to do it is to search for Socialwall. Now, the Socialwall is a series of 4 plugins. So you have to have the Socialwall course format, the alert block, the title, the web page via URL, as well as the filter. So all you need to do is go to the page, click download, and it will download it. Now, I've already gone through and downloaded each of these, but this is where you would go to find it. You can see that it's part of a set. There's some instructions here. But once you download the plugin, you'll want to go to your Moodle site, and we're going to install the plugins. So this is just a local development site that I have. And what we're going to do is go into administration, go to plugins, install plugins. And the first one that we're going to install is the actual Socialwall course format. So I'm scrolling through this link here, looking for the course format. I probably passed it twice now. Ah, there it is. Okay, so you pick course format, and then what we want to do is upload that, drop the file in there. So I'm going to find the Socialwall format. I'm dropping it in, accepting, and now I'm going to click install plugin. It passes validation. Click Install Plugin. And click Upgrade. I'm just clicking continue. Okay, so the new settings for the Socialwall format. These are available on the site administrator on the back end. So by default, let's go through each one of these settings and we'll explain what they do. Enable notifications. So if every time somebody creates a new Socialwall course, by default, do you want to enable notifications? I would say no, because sometimes these just fill up your email box with people. Every time somebody posts to the timeline, you get an email. That could get a little ridiculous. So you can either make that the default by enabling it or leave it unchecked. I recommend leaving it unchecked. Enable likes. Everyone likes to like something, so that's the popularity of Facebook, I guess. I would leave that turned on. The allow users to upload files and links. The default says yes, and this is the first version of the plugin, and the allow users to upload files and links does not apply to the teacher. It applies specifically to your students that are enrolled in the course. Depending on whether or not you want them to be able to add files and links, you would either leave this on or off. I'm going to recommend that you leave it off by default. The teacher, when they create the course, can always toggle that back on, but I would recommend just leaving that off at the site level. The number of posts per request. So when you first come to the Socialwall course that you create, it will initially show 10 posts in the timeline. And then as you scroll down the page, it will automatically load another 10 and so on until it reaches the very first post that you've ever published. So this setting right here allows you to either limit or expand the amount of posts that are initially displayed. So if you only want the last 5 things posted, you can do that. But by the default of 10 is a pretty good number to go with. And the same concept applies to the comments. So do you want to show, I recommend just leaving it at 5, and then if you get more than 5 comments on a post in the timeline, it will it'll say click here to show all comments. And then the other setting is delete items after a user is unenrolled. I would recommend just leaving this as it is. So really, when you first install it, the only change that I would recommend is allow users to upload files and links, unchecking that. So click Save Changes, and you've installed the course format. Now, at this point, you could go in, well, I recommend that you do one other thing, and that is install, if you're going to allow students to upload and embed files and links, you will probably also want to install the filter as well as the filter backup. So I'm going to install the filter next. And I'm going to drag that in. Accept. And click Install. It says validation passed. So we'll go to install plugin. And it's going to say that it requires the backup. So this might be an issue that you might run into from time to time. And what I recommend doing is that we go ahead and upload this, or you would install the backup first, but let's go ahead and upload that as well. That is a local plugin. So here is the local file, so we will go ahead and install that as well. And so now these two items, the URL resource, are ready to be upgraded and installed. Okay. So that is done. The only setting is when an image is displayed from a URL, you can set the default width. Click Save Changes. And the final plugin to install is the block. Now, the block is actually quite important, as you'll see when we actually create the course. With the alert block, this allows the teacher to make announcements and things that will appear in the block and really bring those into focus for the student. So we're just installing the block here. Here's that. And there'll be some here are the settings for the alert block. It's going to show up to 10 alerts. You can toggle this if you want to make it smaller or larger, the number. Order of the post, time of last modification, and you can make it the default to show sticky posts on top. But otherwise, you could just leave it as is.
Chris, there is a question from Kristen asking if you allow uploading of files. If you made some changes as you did at the beginning, can you go back once this is installed and change that? Do you see your question up on the right?
No, I don't have the
Don't have
let
that
me
question?
open up the QA.
Okay.
Okay, there I say. Okay. So this is it only applies to the student. The teacher, regardless of what you set on here, the teacher can always upload files and add activities and resources. So this is just concerning the students. And yes, right now we are just setting the defaults so that when the teacher goes in to create a new Socialwall course format, these are the default settings that are going to show up for them. They will actually have a toggle that says yes or no, and that'll be in the very next step, and I'll show you where it's going to default to no, but we can change it to yes to allow students to add files and links. So to answer this question, yes, the teacher ultimately has control during the creation of the course in the edit settings of the course, but we are just merely setting some defaults so that if all they do is click Socialwall format and click create a course, these are the default settings. Does that make sense?
I think you explained that well, Chris. When you'll be showing in just a minute for Kristen where that was. And let me just repeat the question because I don't know that everybody sees this question. It says, if you say no to allowing uploading of files, etc. at first, can you change that setting to yes once you had the students interacting with the course? So the answer is yes, you can, and Chris will show that in a few minutes. the setting he did was just for the default setting for the course. So.
And here's the other thing too. And now, okay, so now we've installed everything. Now we're just going to go through and I'm going to offer some tips on how to make sure that things are really set up nicely for you. So in your administration block, as site admin, under plugins, you can go to course formats and manage course formats. Now, this should look familiar to you. You have your topic format, your weekly format, the Socialwall format. At any time, if you set that up and you decide, you know what, our teachers really like being able to allow the kids to upload files and links, you can come back here, click the checkbox, click Save Changes, and now that is the default. Okay. Now, you'll notice right here, we have Socialwall format and social format. Moodle has the a social format, which is basically a discussion forum. It's not exactly like a Facebook timeline. So to avoid any confusion, if you don't see a lot of teachers using this social format, what you will want to do is just click this button to hide it. You click this icon right here, and it will hide the social format from teachers. Okay? So that will make it easier for your teachers to not get confused, because if they activate the social format, they're obviously not going to get our much improved Socialwall format. Okay, so that's course format. Now, the other thing that we need to do is we need to go over to the filters. Make sure that everyone has their filters working, because I know by default, this convert URLs into links and images is not always turned on. So I recommend that you turn this on and apply it to content. What this allows you to do is, for instance, if you copy and paste a YouTube URL into the timeline, this will automatically embed the video and not just make it a link. And the other one that we need to be concerned about is this retrieve title and teaser image from web page via URL. You can turn it on, and that will, if, for instance, if a student puts in a link to the Detroit News, it will grab an image and embed it into the post along with the link. Not really necessary, but it's a feature of the timeline. Okay, so these are the filters that we have turned on. But really the main one is this convert URLs into links and images along with the retrieve title and teaser image. Those are the two filters that you'll want to enable. And I believe that that sums up the configuration. Do we have any other questions on the configurations? Okay, if we do, they'll pop up and we'll answer them later on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and move into adding a new course and what it looks like when you're creating a Socialwall format course. So I'm just, this is very much the default standard Moodle setup. I'm going to come down to course format and I'm going to pick Socialwall format. And the page is going to refresh. And here are those exact same settings that we just did on the previous configuration. And you'll notice enable notifications. Maybe you want to allow emails to go out. every time somebody makes a post. Enable likes, allow users to upload files and links. Now, initially I had set it to no, but then we went back in when I was showing you how to get to the settings through the plugins menu, and I changed it back to yes. But for this, I guess we could leave it as yes. Here's those other settings, and all you need to do is click Save Changes. So I am logged in as site admin. Normally this would list the teacher. So let's just go look at what it does. So this is the Socialwall course format. You have the posting interface, and then you have the timeline. Now there's nothing in the timeline, so what we're going to do is actually go into the training that we would provide for teachers. We would tell them that once the course is created and they are the teacher of the course, they come in here, they might type in a homework, read the book. So they type in their message, they click post, and it appears in the timeline, as you can see. Now that's really great. You know, so you can, once the post is put in there, students will be able to come in and they can like it. They can also leave a comment. And it'll put their icon along with their name next to the post. It also keeps track of time, so you can see right here. It'll keep track of your time, and every time the page reloads, it'll say 21 seconds ago, 2 minutes ago, 3 weeks ago, a year ago. A little bit more about the timeline area. You have some icons that, I'm going to put another post in here just so that we have two that you can see. So we have another post, and then we have the homework post. Now, if I don't want to allow comments, right now you can leave a comment here. You can click the toggle button and lock the post. Once you lock the post, it takes away the student's ability to leave a comment. And the other thing that you can do is you can make a post sticky. So for instance, if you do a homework announcement, you might also have other announcements that come up throughout the day, but you want the homework one to be the first one that the student sees. You simply click the icon, and now you'll notice that it has a little pin next to it. This will stay at the very top of the timeline, no matter how many posts you have below it. When you uncheck the pin, it goes back to its normal position in the timeline. You can also do some filtering. You can filter it by date. And if you add in different resources, so for instance, quizzes or assignments, you can also filter by those module types. Let's take a look at adding in, let's say you want to attach like a Word document, a PDF, some type of document you might have on your computer to share with the students. So you can type in your message, and then you can click the button right here, this add an activity or resource. And once you do that, it opens up what I call the magic box. What the magic box allows you to do is you can go ahead and add in any of your assignments, your typical Moodle activities, or you can also just drag and drop files into the post. So now once I make a post and I click the post button, it appears in the timeline with the post. So the students can click on this and it will download the file for them and they can open that up. On the same token, you can also do assignments. And we'll add in a quick assignment here. So you can set up an assignment here. You can enable word limits, all that kind of good stuff. Click Save and Return to Course. And now the assignment is listed with the post here. You can add more if you would like. Let's say we want to do what's something easy to set up? I'm going to do a chat. Okay, so now we have a couple of items here. When you click post, it appears in your timeline, and there they are here. And now the students can come and they can interact with this. So they can come here and add in their submissions. Obviously, it's closed. I probably just didn't set it up looking at the different parameters, but that's how you would add assignments, the activities and resources that are in Moodle already, the existing stuff. Any questions on this so far? Okay. So that pretty much concludes the configuration, the setup, and the actual usage of the Socialwall course format. The overall plan, the reason that we developed this was to basically lower the entry barrier for teachers to get started within Moodle. We know that Moodle can sometimes be overkill for what most teachers want, but we believe that with this type of course format, we can get all the teachers on a single platform. And that's definitely a lot easier for students, and it's a lot nicer for parents as well. I guess I should point out the one thing that I did not explain in the post interface are these couple of icons, the drop downs right here. If your course is set up to have groups, you can actually send specific notes or posts to specific groups. So if you have like hour 1, hour 2, hour 3, you can do general posts to all of them, or if maybe hour 2 is ahead of hour 1, you can send specific instructions or posts to those groups. You can also make an alert, and this is actually part that is the one part that I've left out of the overall instructions here. So we make an alert. This is an alert. Now it hasn't done anything else because it's just like a typical post. I can make another post and it's just going to be in the timeline feed. What we actually forgot to do was to turn editing on, and we forgot to add in the alert block. So here is the alert block. I'm going to drag that up to the top. And I should explain this because this is actually a powerful feature, and I can't believe that I almost forgot to include it. The alert block, when a teacher makes an alert post, it will show up here in the block, along with due dates for assignments and activities. So you can see right here we added a chat, and we also added an assignment, and it shows up, it pulls that information out of the timeline so that the student doesn't get lost in the shuffle here, and the student can very easily see what they have to do in the course. And if you click on the link, it filters the timeline to only show that alert for the student. Same thing with this, it'll take them right into the assignment. And so I think that concludes this the overall instructions for how to set it up, how to use it, and some of the different features. For teachers that like to be more creative with their posting, you can actually turn the HTML editor on, and this allows you to type in and be a little bit more creative. So if you like to do like bullets, things like that, you can do some text formatting, make it bold. Maybe you want to make it larger, things like that. And then when you make a post, that's how it appears in your timeline. So a little bit more functional, especially if you need to highlight things of that nature. It's fully functional. It's fully integrated with Moodle, so that there are some other timeline, Socialwall timeline activities out there, but this is the only one that we know of that does fully integrated to make use of adding activities and things of that nature. So with that, I'll stop sharing my screen here.
Chris, you can embed using there is an HTML toggle in that.
Yes, I should have shown that. Let's do that as an example here. Hopping back here, I should have brought up the YouTube. We'll come in here and we'll grab one of my videos here. It doesn't. Just going in here, I'm just copying the URL up at the top and coming back to Moodle. Watch this video. I'm just pasting it in there and clicking post. And as you can see, it embeds it right into your timeline.
Awesome. And it does that because you had the that link to whatever.
The filter turned on.
The filter turned on, right. Otherwise, you could have copied the embed code and gone into the HTML and done it that way.
Yes, very much so. So I haven't tested it, but I would imagine with the HTML editor turned on, you could go into geek mode, which is the code view. And within the code view, you might be able to embed Vokies, any of the other elements that you would normally do embedding. And you could paste that code in here and post it. I would imagine that it would work just like you would expect in the timeline here.
Great.
I think you could probably even embed like a Google Doc or something along those lines too. Yeah.
So you could embed your Google Calendar and put a sticky and have it up on the top of your social wall if you wanted.
Yeah, I would imagine you could do that. And it does utilize the built-in calendar. You can see over here on the right. You can go to the calendar within Moodle. The reason I would suggest that you would start using the Moodle calendar is that with Moodle right now is actually putting a lot of time and effort into their mobile plugin, their mobile app, and it does push notifications right to your mobile device. So if you have an assignment that's due, you get an alert on your phone. It beeps just like it would any other alert, and it lets you know, hey, and you have a due date. So they're making it more useful for communicating with users.
Good.
And yeah, so that I think that is a pretty complete overview of what you can do with this social wall format. Yeah, that's I think that summarizes it all.
Well, I want to thank Chris for presenting today. He did a great job, and I also want to mention the RIMSI Association, which funded the development of this, and Chris and Brian Smith were the two of the lead people that helped make this get started, and now it's out there for the good of the entire Moodle community, which I think supports the whole idea that we have of open source.
Yeah.
Chris, any closing thoughts?
You know what? We've already put together a list of features. You know, we want to make sure that it's compatible moving forward, and we're hopeful that there's going to be some additional funding to make some enhancements. One of the things that that we've noticed that teachers would like is the ability, once you make a post, to be able to edit that post. So that was a functionality that wasn't included in the initial package. We want to make sure that it's compatible with Moodle 2.9, which is coming out. We also wanted to look at the ability to do threaded discussions. So threaded comments, I'm sorry. So that if a student makes a comment on a post, the teacher can reply directly to the student comment. We think that that might help facilitate some discussion within the course format. And there was a couple of other things as well, just feature enhancements that might be coming in the next release.
Excellent. Excellent. So again, I want to thank everybody for participating today, and a big thank you to Chris Kennenberg from Dearborn Public Schools. And with that, we're going to stop the broadcast. Thank you.
Thank you.